Yo, the name's Alpern, and I just want to say sorry for the inactivity recently, but I've been very busy finishing my exams. We'll get back to more regular stuff once I'm done with those. And I know there's been a lot of negativity recently floating around with all of this stuff regarding Relic and Code 3, but that's not what we're here to discuss today. But instead, I would like to just really highlight this Company Heroes 3 mod that has surfaced the last couple of days. It's titled the Q mode, and we're going to show or talk about some of the features in here. And of course, you can find this mode, it's linked down in the description if you want to check it out. But it's actually extremely cool, so let's jump into that. So in order to enable the mod, we simply go into a custom game or a single player skirmish. We create our lobby, and then we go into game options, and you'll find it here under Q mode. And man, there is a lot of features you can select, but instead of doing anything, let's just run it default mode instead of mixing with anything. But yes, there is a lot more settings you can try here if there's anything you wanna check out. So here we are in the match with the default settings, and as you may already, or as you can probably already tell, things are a bit different, right? We've starting off with this camera already facing our enemy, and this is actually true for all the maps. It just automatically positions your camera facing the enemy, which I know a lot of people are rotators. I don't personally do that, but it's a nice feature if you are rotating, because now you don't really have to rotate anymore. But in order to show the changes here, I have to move my camera, and I don't actually know where to place this stuff, because I'll just put it over here, I guess. So yeah, you can probably tell there's some new UI elements here. We've got a surrender button if you want to surrender. We don't want to surrender. But there's also the settings here, and there's a lot of things you can change, and this actually changes your in-game UI. So for instance, if you have a squad selected, this is the normal UI, but if we enable the custom squad UI, you'll see it looks a lot different. For instance, you can tell how many casualties you've sustained during the course of the match, how many infantry you've killed and vehicles, etc, etc, etc. But furthermore, you also see your weapons for each of your models, and these are also the HP below of each model. And you can see this from a glance instead of, having to hover. But furthermore, as you probably already spotted there, you can actually see the damage curves while in the game, and this is just a very neat little feature. You can see the accuracy curve there, which is not exactly, I'm not entirely sure if this is the same as the DPS chart. I haven't checked. But it gives you a pretty decent view of what ranges this squad is really strong at. So looking here at the Royal Engineer squad, then yes, we can see close range. It's a close range specialist, and you don't even have to look at the stats. All you really have to do is just look at this chart, and if you want to know any more stats, then there you go. But let's take a look at some of the other settings here. So other than that, you also of course got these notifications, which are actually your top left notifications, which we know is coming in on a future update from Relic. I believe they talked about that during the June patch. But you got that already here in this mod if you want to try it. And you can see all of these different classes. And for instance, if you only want to, got something like territory contested that you don't really care about, you can simply click this and it gets removed from this notification up here. You also got this custom kill count UI, which appears on the top of the screen. You can see here how many enemy infantry I have killed, as well as my opponent as soon as I kill. And once there is vehicles showing up, these will show up here as well, which is just, it's a neat little feature. You can keep tab of this without actually, keeping track of yourself. Neat little feature. I don't know if how useful this is, but I think it's pretty cool, especially for observer mode, which we're going to go into later. Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, so here we have a vehicle, and you can see here the damage chart again. You can see also the penetration on that thing, and you can see, oh well, I get higher penetration if I get closer, which makes a lot of sense, right? And you also have the front, side, and rear armor here, which is just, I don't know, it's just way. Is it an improvement over this icon? I don't know, but it's still nice. Just getting those numbers there. So what else can you do in this mod, you might ask yourself? And well, one specific thing I really want to highlight is the build your own battle group system. And yes, you heard that correctly. Here, I have to move my camera again. If we scroll down to the battle group abilities, we can go into selected, which at the start of the game will let me build my own battle group at the start of the match. In order to do so, I also have to enable the command points. This is how many abilities I basically get to select in my match. So if we got 20, then I can select up to 20's worth of command point abilities. So let's go with 20 and let's go Brits. Alright, and this is the start of the screen once you load into the match of the build your own battle group game mode. And as you can see, we have 20 points, and you can also see how many points each costs. So if I want to get the volunteer infantry in my own battle group, then I can pick this, and I have 18 remaining. Some other stuff I can pick is like vehicle training, you know, I can kind of pick whatever the stuff here. There's also some units here not actually present in the game, like the crocodile battle group. Or the crocodile the heavy tank, which is kind of neat. He's included those into this system, so you can tuck those in, which, you know, it's just nice if you want to play a few games with your friends or with the AI to check these units out, which is very cool. And yeah, you basically just select everything and then you ready up. When you're playing with players, there will also be a timer, and when the timer runs out, the battle group space basically get randomized. Also, if I have points remaining and I click ready, then the points will be randomized. And there you go, I got my own battle group here. So the way this system works, it's not perfect, but basically, since you chose to have 20 command points, the UI doesn't really update and show you the amount of command points. You still have to unlock these, but it seems to be like a global sort of thing, like in Code 2, where you know, if you hit like the Churchill here, for instance, doesn't require any of the other ones. It's only 8 points to get this. So it's more similar to Code 2 in that regard here, but it's still really cool. And also, if you choose like a lot of very cheap abilities, you will have a shit ton of abilities here on the screen, which is kind of funny. But yeah, very cool system here. I do like it a lot. So here we are in a replay. I played a game versus Lady Ritsu using this mod, and we're gonna check out the observer mode here, which is of course, you know, the ordinary replay system. But there is some new features here which I want to highlight really. So of course at the start we are selecting our battle group abilities currently, so we're just waiting for that to finish. And there we go, we are now in game, and I realize I'm gonna have to move my camera again, so let's move it back over to the right side perhaps. And we're gonna check out the settings, but yeah, you can see here I've got a custom battle group, but we can also enable here the custom replay UI, which just shows you all of the stats from both the players. You can see the current queues. Just very nice. You can see the current units. I have 2 Royal Engineers, so it shows that by a 2 here. Very neat little visual here. And there's of course also this little neat follow selected squad, which I think is just very neat for casting in general, where I can just select any squad and the game defaults at following it. Which just, you know, this is just such a nice little thing for casting, I think, where, you know, you just select a squad and it starts following it, which is just, you know, kind of cool. Oh wow, even this UI down here works. That's actually even cool. Some other things you can do is you can speed this up, of course, if you want to, just like you can in Janus mod. You can turn Fog of War back on. Or you can even do some other things, like remove the game timer and other UI elements, like the minimap. You can remove the custom squads, which is otherwise shown on the squad. You can remove the decorators, like all the UI for some visuals, etc. So you can basically just, you know, tinker with this in however shape or way you want. And again, you see the kill counts are on the top of the screen that we saw earlier, which is just nice, you know. It's a very cool, and in general, just a shit ton of quality of life features, honestly, tucked away in this little menu that we've really not seen before. So I fast forwarded it a bit into later stages of the game, and you can see here I've customized the UI quite a bit, and you can also, of course, here see a bit more of what the UI could look like in a casting sense for this observer mode. Like you can see, I've removed most of the UI because this Has pretty much everything. I could probably just honestly hide the top right completely, and we can just use the bottom to see the unit compositions. You can see all the resources, you can see the current kill-death ratios. And if I ever were to, you know, need anything, I could just bring up the custom squad UI, for instance, if I wanted to compare any stats. And then I could take a look at the stats right here, for instance, if I wanted to. Yeah, here you can also see the crocodile, which of course featured because we got this battle group creator where we can create the maps. And you're about to see the first vehicle lost here as well, I think. Eventually. And there you go. I got an enemy armor destroyed here now, which is, you know, it's just a cool little thing here that we can kind of get an overview about the history of the battle if you just tuned into a cast, and, you know, you can look up there, which is just very neat, I think. And I also kind of like how clean this is. I mean, we could even clean it up more. I have changed the event cards here so that it's supposed to only show, like, the interesting stuff. I could probably change more of this. Not sure why infantry in danger shows up. Like, obviously, it's just a mod, so it may not be completely perfect, but I've tried to just keep the most important stuff here from the notifications tab. Of course, there is more you could do. I'm pretty sure most of you are going to want the map, so we could just add back the minimap, and there you go. But yeah, very nice UI for casting and for in-game, of course. And cool little changes with the battle group game mode, which is, you know, it's just a bit of fun, really. It's not probably the most competitive setting, but it is a bit of fun. And I am really much liking this stats on display here for easy comparisons, for whatever the case may be. And yeah, you can see here the crocodile going ham. Rip. So let's take a look at the post-game screen, shall we? And look at this stat chart. Holy shit. Unfortunately, it is timed, so it doesn't stay forever. You could probably stare at this for quite some time, but you can see all the individual kills of all your units. You can see how many casualties, so how many models you replenished. Just a really neat, cool screen. And then we get back to Relic's stat screen with the negative 2% average map control. Yikes. But yeah, do check out the mod. I was very pleasantly surprised when I checked this out. And yeah, hope you have a good one. Wish me luck for my exams. Bye bye.